Hi guys, MPs from the governing party can sometimes be a little bit naughty during PMQs by asking questions and not directing them at the Prime Minister or the Deputy Prime Minister, but using them to embarrass the opposition or poke fun at another political party. In this case, Adam Thompson, a Labour MP, used his question to embarrass Nigel Farage. Have a listen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Since this government has massively boosted the national minimum wage for young people, my constituents in Erewash earn far more than the £3.40 an hour I got paid in my first job just 17 years ago. What is the Deputy Prime Minister's response then to those, including the Conservatives and Reform, who claim that £10 an hour is too high a wage for young workers? And does he happen to know whether any of the Reform leaders' dozen extra jobs pay him less than £10 an hour?
Wonderful. This was in response, of course, to Richard Tice recently talking about how £10 an hour is too high. £10 an hour is too high. And I asked the question, would Richard Tice work for £10 an hour or less than £10 an hour? I'm pretty sure he wouldn't. But he wants other people to work for less than £10 an hour. Now, why would Reform support the idea of people working for less than minimum wage? Because it's a race to the bottom. They're not a party of the working class. They're a party of the rich, the corrupt rich as well. They're on the side of corrupt business owners, not on the side of workers, even though they pretend to care about ordinary working class people.
Well, I was looking at the Honourable Member for Clacton's member's interests, and he's making quite a lot out of gold bullion. You've got to ask, why does he want to cut the minimum wage for people who are not making even 1% of what he is? The Labour... Exactly.
Nigel Farage is not on the side of working class people. Why is he even an MP? He earns more doing other stuff. So why doesn't he just do other stuff? Because he wants power. It's not about representing his constituents. When was the last time that Nigel Farage asked questions on behalf of his constituents? I can't remember. Whenever he's in Parliament or he gets a chance to ask a question during PMQs, he talks about immigration. He talks about Donald Trump. He talks about international issues. He doesn't talk about his constituents. He's supposed to represent his constituents, but he doesn't care about them because he doesn't earn enough to warrant their concern. He doesn't. Once again, if Nigel Farage had one job and it was representing his constituents, he'd be more likely to ask questions on their behalf. But he earns so much money doing media, selling gold bullion or in trading in gold bullion, than he does earning as an MP. This is the problem with these second jobs. Can you imagine if Labour banned second jobs tomorrow? Nigel Farage would have to make a decision. Do I remain as an MP or do I stick doing my stuff on GB News and other initiatives, other enterprises? He would have to give up those jobs and work only as an MP. And then perhaps he would finally represent his constituents. For Farage, this is all quite funny. He thinks they're jealous of me. And I don't think this sits well with ordinary members of the public. Reform UK sycophants will cheer him on. Yeah, he's really successful. I wish I could have half the money that Nigel has, but Nigel is successful because he's a really good guy. He's good at business. This is the type of person we need as Prime Minister, somebody who's good at business. No, Nigel Farage is good at looking after himself in the same way as Donald Trump is good at looking after himself. What is Donald Trump doing for ordinary people? Diddly squat. What is Nigel Farage doing for his constituents? Diddly squat. So if he became Prime Minister, does anyone honestly believe he would improve the situation for ordinary people? He's already on the side of cutting the minimum wage. His alternative, of course, is, we'll cut taxes. Yes, but if people are not earning enough, cutting their taxes isn't going to really make or break their finances. They would prefer, in most cases, more money than a tax cut. But remember, a tax cut benefits who? It benefits the richest people in society more than the poorest in society. The poorest in society would prefer to have a little bit more money. The richest in society would prefer a massive tax cut because they're the ones who benefit from it. So Farage can laugh this off. Oh, look at them. They're jealous of me making so much money on the side. A real way to deal with this would be to ban second jobs. No exceptions. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think, and I'll see you in the next video.